Hey there guys, Artistic Nick here, thanks for the click. In today's drawing video, I'm going to be drawing the Incredible Hulk using a combination of Copic markers and Prismacolor coloured pencils. As always, I freehanded a sketching of the Incredible Hulk. I found a few fantastic images online and finally settled on this one. What I really liked about this was the position that Hulk's hands and fists were in. I just thought that I could make this look slightly more realistic and look as though it's sort of popping out from behind a background, which I did decide to add. Thank you so much for your feedback. I did a couple of live Instagram feeds when I was actually deciding on whether to colour the background in a blue or a red. And I had a few of you from the community watching and left me some comments. So I think the general consensus was we went with blue. So stick around to the end just to see how the background came out and let me know what you think of it. I used an emerald green for the majority of the Hulk's skin tones, and this was in the Copic marker. I was in two minds as to whether to use the emerald green or the moss green. I went with the emerald green because it was a slightly brighter green, and I just thought that it looked slightly more realistic, certainly in the lighter areas. For the details on the Hulk, I'm using my Prismacolor Premier pencils. These go over the Copic markers really smoothly and just allow me to bring the gradations around the muscles. What I decided to do with this drawing is actually draw it in segments, as you can see. So I'm working my way down and around the body. So I lay a foundation colour down and then I go over with the black Prismacoloured pencils. This way, I just felt as though I wasn't going to get lost with the drawing. There's so much detail, and this drawing was quite big, that I felt that if I went about it in my normal way, with my normal technique, I would sometimes get a little bit lost, and it's a little bit disorientating. Izuki was on the live feed yesterday, and Izuki asked me if I ever get artist's block, which I'm guessing is quite similar to writer's block. I do sometimes get it, so I have to stand away from the picture. I have to leave it for a couple of hours and then come back to it. Your brain can only take so much information in, but I do feel that people would tend to get that more when they're coming up with their own designs and their own characters, and they're struggling to come up with ideas. So when we are working from references, I do sometimes just have to take a break from it. If you've subscribed to my channel, thank you so much for doing that. It makes an awful lot of difference to the channel when you guys do subscribe, like and share any of my content. I'm doing daily videos at the moment and I'm doing requests, so if you have any requests for me, they can be anime, manga, video game characters, superhero characters like the Hulk that I'm drawing right now, then please leave me a comment down below. I'm really interested to hear your thoughts on all of my work, but also on any new characters that I'm not aware of. I've learned so much recently about various different anime characters and actually some gaming characters as well that I didn't know existed. So thank you so much for all of that. Don't forget to link up with me on social media. I'm on all of the usual social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, and the links to all of my social media are down below in the descriptions. So head down there, give me a like on my Facebook page, follow me on Instagram and Twitter. And it'd be great to hear from you. Like I say, any ideas for future content and any ideas and any thoughts on any of my previous work. For the Hulk's shorts, I went with a cool grey 3. I didn't want to go too dark because I wanted to, again, to bring the detail out with the black Prismacolor. I'm quite happy with how it laid down. I had to refill my cool grey 3 halfway through this because I just felt as though I wasn't quite getting enough ink down onto the page. Looking for the darker areas again in the shorts, I had to make sure that the darkest areas sort of matched with the darkest areas on the Hulk itself. So making sure that the shadows all were in the same areas and aligned were really important. So you can see that there's a dark area coming down the left hand side. And when you're drawing anything, if you want to add any sense of realism, it's very important that you do add the shadows in the same area, because your brain picks up very quickly where the light source is coming from. And if your brain has conflicting information, so you've got a shadow on the right side and then a shadow on the left side that don't actually go together, your brain very quickly works out that what it's looking at is a drawing. I decided to add a background to this and I was in two minds as to whether to just add a normal comic background, which you'll see in a second, or just to actually colour it in, and I decided to colour it in. So I went with the blue, and what I used for this, I used 3 different Winsor & Newton markers. I used 3 different types of blue, going from a darker blue into a china blue, all the way down into an azure blue, and I just blended these in. And to blend these pigment markers, what you do is you use the lightest colour and go over the entire colour base that you've laid down, and that just gets you a lovely blending and gradation. We're almost at the end of the video, so I just want to thank you guys for watching, liking and sharing, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Hit subscribe, smack the notifications button, follow me on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter.